So yeah, y'all, this big report from Wall Street Journal basically confirms literally everything we have been saying about the MCU. Kevin Feige was apparently stretched so thin that employees had to chase him down in the hallways for answers to their questions. Let's get into it, y'all. All right, y'all. So, like I said, this is a giant article, so I'm going to skip through it like I do. Y'all already know how we do it over here on Avatar Adrian. Of course, like I said, it's coming from the Wall Street Journal, so if you want to read the full article, make sure you check out the link in my description. Now, I'm skipping around here. The head of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, told colleagues recently that watching all the comic book giants' new TV shows and films had started to feel more like homework than entertainment. The problem, Kevin Feige acknowledged, is that in an effort to satisfy parent company Disney's hunger for content, which is such an important facet to consider here, because clearly Kevin Feige was getting pressure from Disney to increase the output, and they did not care at all about the quality at all. So they said basically, with the studio trying to keep up with what Disney was demanding, they churned out way too many movies and shows with interconnected stories. And so the huge addition of material from the MCU on Disney Plus overwhelmed and eventually alienated viewers. And that's the understatement of the century. That is the understatement of the century. It also stretched Feige and his team's resources thin, diluting the quality of their output. Marvel's box office sales, streaming popularity, and formerly untouchable position in pop culture suffered. And so, of course, Kevin Feige declined requests to interview with the Wall Street Journal. This article is based on interviews with more than a dozen people who have worked at Marvel or done business with the studio. So, of course, I'm skipping around like I said. But already we're getting a clear picture of what has been happening over there. Honestly, it's not too far away from my guesses, right? Just based off of what we were seeing, girl. Of course, he's getting pressure from Disney to just put more stuff out. It doesn't matter what it is. Just put a face on it, put a name on it, and sell it. And it's like, okay, I can do that. But the quality is definitely going to suffer. So moving on, the article talks about Kevin's history and his major successes, right? It says, under his guidance, Marvel released an unprecedented string of hits, including Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and so along the way, Marvel was acquired by Disney for $4 billion in 2009. And it's like, dang, y'all sold it for 4 movies. I mean, y'all want y'all movies to do $1 billion a piece, and I think it's so interesting. Obviously, it's 2009, so the time was different, but it's so interesting. Y'all sold it for $4 billion. Y'all trying to make $1 billion a piece on these movies. Its crowning achievement was 2019's Avengers Endgame, which united the storylines and characters of all 21 films that preceded it and grossed $2.8 billion, a record at the time. Now, digging a little deeper into Kevin Feige's processes, the article talks about how the well-oiled machine of Marvel used to work, right? So during Marvel's heyday in the 2010s, Feige was heavily involved in film development. He deployed lower-ranking executives to supervise shooting, then got his hands dirty again in the editing room, often making significant changes and ordering new scenes. His longtime deputy, Louis D'Esposito, had a recurring joke, "We can fix any movie if we shoot it again." And it's like, okay, knee slapper. Sorry. Though the studio had a few early duds, Feige's process worked almost flawlessly for years. And we have seen it. I mean, a decade worth of hit after hit after hit, grossing an average of about $1 billion with each film. I think the article gets it really correct here in this next sentence when they said that fans loved that each had a distinct tone, but were bound together by an overarching narrative. And really, that's why we enjoyed it. It's okay, paying attention to every movie, what's coming after at the end credits, and how does it add to the whole saga. It was just fun. It was fun because we built it up. And of course, most importantly, because y'all built it up intelligently. So the article says the movies were overseen by a small team of creative executives who came to be known as the Parliament. Most had been with the company since its founding or joined as assistants and were promoted, giving Marvel a family-like culture. Feige was the studio's beloved and charismatic dad, a creative genius from whom everyone sought attention and approval. Soon after Endgame, creative staffers began meeting in their office on the Disney studio lot to figure out where the MCU could possibly go next. In the nearby executive building, Disney's senior leadership had another priority. And guess what the priority was? More money, bring me more money. Chief Executive Bob was launching Disney Plus as his answer to Netflix. And I didn't know that that's what it was supposed to be. I guess that every single streaming service is a response to Netflix or something. You know what I mean? I guess everybody trying to be the big dog, the top dog. But to see what Disney Plus is, and then to see that Bob was trying to let it be an answer to Netflix, I'm just like, girl, you really missed the mark. No shade. No shade, but like this was nobody's. Like, I guess they're trying to make it super. I don't know. It don't give me Netflix. It don't give me Netflix. He needed loads of new series for it and was counting on Marvel to provide many of them. So I guess Bob's big idea to get Disney Plus to be like Netflix was to just flood the entire platform with Marvel, just pump it. Louder, pump it. Like, just keep flooding it. Don't matter what you put on there, just flood it up. And I'm like, instead of letting these series develop in a way that makes sense or focusing on the quality of it so that people, will be like, hey, I know that even if a Disney Plus show takes a minute to come out, I know it will be quality. So girl, they said it doesn't matter. We need these people to stay subscribed. Y'all need to just pump it out. And I'm like, that, I don't know what makes people think that is just whatever, throw whatever you want at the wall and whatever sticks. We just keep it going. Cast our DJ again. It's just like, okay. The strategy became just expansion, said a person who worked at Marvel at the time. And like I said, I really hate this. It's exactly what we thought it was. Like, from the outside looking in, as someone who used to be standing down, like a fan down, like, coming from the outside looking in, it looks exactly like how this article, or looked exactly like how this article is describing it. Just that it didn't matter whose face was on, what's going on, where we are in the plot, what's going on with the overall saga, with the next phase. It doesn't matter where we are in the narrative. Just put a show out, put a movie out, put something out, and that's that, girl. As long as I can cash a check, they didn't care, Feige recently told colleagues he agreed to the plan because of a zealousness to tell more stories and a desire to be an excellent corporate citizen. It turned out to be a mistake. And so this is why me and capitalism and corporate and all this stuff have such a strained relationship, because an excellent corporate citizen, no matter what corporation you're a part of, an excellent corporate citizen only means making the company more money, period. Period. They don't care about your creativity. They don't care about... If all the focus was on at that point was expansion, and focus on making me more money, and I'm sure Kevin Feige saw it for what it was, that a new, company came in here, bought them out, and is demanding more product from them. Like, I'm sure he saw it for what it was, but maybe Kevin was like, well, I mean, I wanted the chance to tell all these stories, so maybe I can handle it. Maybe I could... And I'm just like, it feels, it's just ridiculous. And I know that, he's saying it turned out to be a mistake, but if he is getting this much pressure from Disney and they're not giving him support, they're not saying, oh, well, hey, this didn't turn out how we wanted. Let's figure out what you need, Kevin. Let's hire some more people. Let's get some people, more minds here. To me, what it seems like, it's like, well, it seems like Disney was saying, well, girl, that just keep pushing them out. If this one flops, just try again with something else and just keep it. It doesn't matter. We don't have to take 10 months, 2 years to figure out a script. It doesn't matter. Just put it out and that's it. And I'm like, how could you possibly think that this is a sustainable, way to do it? Marvel's transition from producing a few hours of movie content annually to several dozen hours of streaming shows and films eventually broke down the studio's processes. A pair of executives oversaw each show while Feige remained the final decision maker on every significant creative issue, even though there were exponentially more decisions to make each day. People who worked at Marvel in the early 2020s said it was challenging to secure enough time with Feige to get his feedback. As a result, they sometimes spent weeks on work that proved irrelevant. Once he weighed in, then found themselves with little time to implement his changes before a deadline. Desperate staffers resorted to chasing Feige in the halls to get answers. Like, listen, I'm not naive. I know that we live in this world that, like, money makes it go round. I understand that business is business. I get that. But I think this is just a very clear-cut case of, like, the spirit of greed and just more overtaking the spirit of creativity. And you see what I'm saying? In this business. And you can see that it definitely took a toll. And so, like, I get it. I mean, nobody wants to sit down here and make no money, but I think that there becomes a level, there is a level of greed that especially these super duper rich people have, especially when they have money coming in and they're just like, I don't care what happens. I don't want it to stop. I don't care if, you know, a delay creatively would help us. I don't care. I want the money right now. You know, when the spirit of just greed and money overtakes the creativity of especially a company like this, a superhero, you see what I'm saying? Comics, it shows, girl. It just shows. I'm gonna skip around here some more. In theaters, Marvel's biggest hits during this period were nostalgia plays that tied up old storylines, such as Spider-Man: No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine is so trash. Yeah. I guess I'm not entertained by the same kind of comedy that all these fan bros are, girl. So they were saying that, okay, those movies were nostalgia plays, but Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was critical to the MCU's future because it featured the title villain of the next planned Avengers sequel, subtitled The Kang Dynasty. But the early 2023 film flopped at the box office and was widely panned. Employees talked regularly about Marvel fatigue. They worried that they created a no new fans club in which people unfamiliar with the state of the MCU couldn't watch a new release because they have no idea what was going on. And I think this lines up with the same thing like superhero fatigue. I don't think that exists. Like, if you do something right, people gonna want more of it, period. Like, that's just it. So no such thing as fatigue. So it's like you talking about, oh, well, new people won't want to watch a new release because they won't have any idea what's going on. But the people currently fans of the MCU don't have no idea what's going on. So, like, you talk about no new fans, girl, we talking about the old ones. What about the old ones? We don't even know what's happening because y'all don't. Meanwhile, Wall Street's obsession with streaming growth gave way to a focus on profitability. Surprise, surprise. Bob and Feige began scrutinizing Marvel's costs and creative choices more closely. At the last second, this is insane. This is insane. At the last second, Marvel decided the script for its vampire movie Blade wasn't good enough and halted production in 2023 while equipment was being shipped to sound stages in Atlanta. Of course, Mahershala Ali was like, girl, I'm not doing it. And the check better be high. And I know it wasn't because he black. No shade. I'm going to come back to that because ain't no way y'all talking about, oh, the Marvels flopped. And I'm like, but y'all didn't promote it. Y'all don't know how to promote nothing that ain't got a straight white man on it. No shade, but like, oh my gosh, Ironheart comes out next month. We don't even know nothing about it. I ain't seen a trailer for that since last year. What's going on? Y'all so it's just a complete mess. Ain't no way y'all was promoting Ant-Man Quantumania way more, oh my gosh, than the Marvels. And Ant-Man Quantumania sucked. It sucked. After Quantumania bombed, Feige became more involved, hoping to avoid a second faceplant in 1 year, and didn't. That movie was terrible. It was really supposed to get me hype, and even Jonathan Majors, all that BS aside, like, it was supposed to get me hype for this villain. I mean, we don't even know, is he getting beat up by ants? It was just a mess. It was a mess. And that floating head, don't get me started. Okay, we'll try to wrap things up here because I'm already talking too much. So the last part of the article talks about how they plan to fix these issues, like Marvel, how Kevin, all that, plans to fix these issues. Article says Marvel's top priority is ensuring the next two Avengers extend the track record of the franchise, which has provided 4 of the company's 5 highest grossing films. Around early 2024, executives decided to dump Kang and started brainstorming who would make a better antagonist for their next superhero team-up. Feige had been talking for more than a year to Robert Downey Jr., who played Iron Man and was beloved by fans, about returning to the MCU. They discussed his playing Doctor Doom, one of Marvel's best-known comic book villains, but they hadn't determined when or in what film. And I heard that they do this sometimes, even with people who are not RD. They just like, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What you want to play? What character you want to play? It's like, girl, aren't you supposed to come to me with the plans? Anyway, Marvel executives concluded that Downey was the solution to their Avengers problem. They retitled the 2026 movie Avengers Doomsday with their biggest star in the title role. And then, of course, we saw these cameos. They teasing us with all these cameos that are going to appear for like 5 seconds, because how else could they even do anything more substantial? Y'all filming this, y'all just started filming this movie and it's coming out next year. Like, okay, girl. Okay, so I guess they think that just Downey Jr., he's gonna save it all. And I'm like, all right. You know, I'm poor, so who am I to be talking about billions and billions of dollars that Marvel is clearly going to make off these people, like, clearly. But billions aside, people who go to see it aside, like, I'm just like, I wonder how long this is going to be sustainable for y'all. I wonder how long, like, is that you think Avengers, this new movie is going to cause us to stop having these conversations about Marvel? Like, you think that Robert Downey Jr.'s the nostalgia machine is going to save us? And I'm like, to me, that shows that y'all really have no plan. Because how is it that you have, plot upon comic book to choose from, plot upon plots, but then it seems like, from the outside looking in, it seems like, girl, we don't know what to do, so just hire back Robert Downey Jr., girl. We don't know which direction to take it. Just hire him back. Let's hope that they can actually see him on screen as Dr. Doom and not another version of Iron Man. And so I don't know. Bringing Robert Downey Jr. back to me does not seem like the answer that these executives think that it is. It feels very much Band-Aid on bullet wound kind of tease. Like, because they're acting like he's the Holy Grail, and I get it. Y'all, like I said, y'all really might blow this out the park, and people go see it, and okay. But I still think even if a whole bunch of people go see this movie, and that's all they want. So, I mean, like I said, I'm poor. I can't be talking about people with billions of dollars and stuff. Y'all do what y'all do. So, like, they're going to be happy anyway. But I'm saying, I don't think that even if a bunch of people go see this movie hoping that Halle Berry shows up in it for 5 seconds, you know what I mean, to play Storm and ask Toad what happens when lightning strikes him. Even if that happens, I don't think that hiring Robert Downey Jr. back is going to get rid of these problems, get rid of these conversations that we're having about Marvel now. And so I think it's just like, are we going to keep rehashing stuff? I know y'all getting y'all life off of Thunderbolts. Somebody just let me know when it's on streaming, because, girl, I'm not walking in nobody theater to see none of that. Let me know. But yeah, I'm just wondering, is it just going to be a nostalgia company where we just go and just, like, we're cows chewing cud, we're just chewing the same old thing, and, oh, this is good, pretending like, or are we actually going to take risks and move forward, even if that means exploring new territory that you will have to build up to? It's like, it seems like some of these executives are expecting, like, well, it needs to be Infinity War and Endgame for every single movie that we release. And it's like, well, y'all built y'all way up to that. Y'all know that, right? And so it seems like they're like, okay, how can we make this movie surpass even the $3 billion, $4 billion? Put Robert Downey, put all the celebrities in it. And it's just like, okay. At some point, it starts to feel like an exhausted hamster chasing its own backside on a wheel. Like, I don't know how people can't see that. But either way, let me know what y'all think about this. It's exactly what I thought it would be behind the scenes back there in Marvel. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure that you're going to www.zeraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, the sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Xeraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing fantasy and stuff, so just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Xeraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Xeraxia, The Vengeance of Coldwind, right? And go to Xeraxia.com, sign up, join the waitlist, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.